Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. We're going to start by clearing the air here with a little rose water, because I don't have any incense burning right now, so I'm just going to clear the energy here. Okay. Today, I'm going to head this under homesteading, I think. But first of all, I'd like to remind everybody, I'm on Patreon. On Patreon, we are going to have my art, where you'll see me working on things. I'll show you how I do it and stuff. We will have messages from the spirit realm on there also, as we do on YouTube. The difference will be on Patreon, it's going to be more, it's going to be based on spiritual topics, okay? Where on YouTube, we get messages from the spirit realm based on, social issues. What's going on in the world today, possibly why, what it means, where it's going, whatever. Possibly on that one, because we all know about that. We talked about that yesterday. Let's see. Oh, there's going to be contests, a drawing once a month for a personal private reading, spirit reading. I will be your interpreter between you and your person in the spirit realm. Let's see. We'll do that on Zoom. Oh, there'll be a question and answer. I think I'd like to do that live once a week on Zoom, I think. There will be a drawing for free merchandise from my shop, Gypsy Witch Creations. And I think I have a couple other more things on there. You have to go check it out. The link's below. And there will be more things coming. Believe me, things keep popping in my head willy-nilly, and yeah, that's just the way I think. So there will be more things coming. Oh, if any of my videos, now I doubt my homesteading stuff will get censored, but who the hell knows these days, right? Anyways, should a video of mine, any of them get censored, go check me out on Odyssey, ODYSSE.com. Same name, under Gypsy Witch. And you can find my videos there. So I am on Patreon, Odyssey. You can find me on MeWe also. That link will be below in the comments. You'll mostly find me on social media that is not mainstream. More open-minded, more into freedom of speech. Uh-oh. This one might get censored. Would you guys believe, this is no joke, I have been kicked off of Facebook for life. This was long before COVID ever came to be. I said on Facebook one day, freedom of speech is a thing of the past. This was at night. I wake up the next morning to get a message from Facebook saying I have been banned from Facebook, and they meant forever. Banned from Facebook. I'm a threat to their community. Yeah, me who preaches love, self-love, all that kind of stuff. Good mental health, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm a threat to your community because I called out freedom of speech as a thing of the past. Guess what, Facebook? You proved me right in a hot instant. Anyways, those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. That's why I'm mostly on non-mainstream social media. So you can't find me here someday? Go look, Odyssey, MeWe, stuff like that, okay? Patreon, of course. And remember the contests, the artwork and everything, the question and answer, personal readings are only going to be open to my patrons on Patreon. So go and sign up, subscribe, become a patron, because we're going to have a lot of fun. I really want to get this going, guys. So anyways, back to the topic of the day. Now, this might not seem like homesteading to you, but I'm categorizing that because this can be self-sustainable if you wish it to be. It's also much less expensive than going to the store and buying a name brand. And it's all natural ingredients. Okay? So that's why I'm considering it more homestead. I've been doing this for a while. Now, what I'm talking about is I make all of my own makeup except for mascara. I have never been able to create a recipe for mascara. Whoops! Guess what, everybody? A spirit got too close to the camera again. Anyways, I've never been able to come up with a recipe for mascara that worked for me. It will like go on, but every single time I get raccoon eyes. I've tried other people's recipes. I've done a lot of research. I can't do it, so I'm still purchasing store-bought mascara. If any of you make mascara and it works for you, share it in the comments below for everyone else, and I'll give it a try and see if it works for me. So we're not going to be talking about mascara, but if you do make your own and you're not aware of this, or you want to try making your own, you can buy empty mascara tubes. I think, oh, this was years ago, I found mine on Amazon. I think it came 2-3 to a pack, and it was a very reasonable price. So please, if you make a good mascara, please share your recipe. I'm desperate. Right. Anyways, so today's topic is going to be eye makeup, particularly eyeshadow. Now, as you can see, I love my eyeshadow and my eye makeup. But let's start. I'm combining liner and shadow together today because the liner is so simple, it's not worth doing a video on its own. Now, for a lot of things with eye makeup, you use activated charcoal. Now, make sure, I got this. No, is this one I got from Gaia.com? Gaia Herbs? No, I don't think so. Make sure it's activated charcoal. It has to be activated. No other type of charcoal is safe. Do not go get a briquette from your grill or the bag and rake that up. Do not do that. That's not safe. You want activated, the kind that you would take for stomach issues. Okay, that's what you use. Now, it does come in bulk powder, and a lot of people use that, and they'll use like 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon for their liner. But I love these capsules because I break them open and I empty them into my liner jar that I keep. I have a glass liner. Was that a baby? No, I saved it from like a little tiny jar of olives or pimento or something like that, and I wash it out and you sterilize it. So I keep my liner in there, but I use one of these capsules, and then, now this is the part you have to experiment with. I use a couple drops of water, maybe a little bit more, and you mix it around really well. I would go with the distilled water, and you mix it around. Now, I went and got a very fine line art paint brush for my liner, and I only use it for that. I have not used it for anything else. In fact, it's probably time I replace it. You want to only make enough liner, I don't know, that will last maybe a week, because you don't want this going bad. You don't want to incur an eye infection. Okay, and it's as simple as that. Now, it's going to depend on where you live again, how high the humidity is, how arid it is. You're going to have to experiment, and that's always the case with these kind of things. Your environment, the weather, plays a big part. So experiment with that. So we're going to move on to the eyeshadow. And guess what, everybody? It's besides this, which most people don't keep, it's all stuff you have in your pantry. It's so cool. Anyways, so I'm gonna do brown eyeshadow today. So what I do, you can use arrowroot powder or cornstarch. Now, either are fine. For my makeup, I normally prefer arrowroot powder because it's a little bit more finer, silkier. Not a huge difference, but there is some. I am out right now, and I have to put some on order tomorrow. So I'll be back to having my arrowroot powder. I use it for a lot of my makeup. But right now I'm just using the cheap cornstarch, which it doesn't really matter right now. But it's just what I prefer is the arrowroot. If you can't afford to order it or find it, buy it somewhere, go with the cornstarch. That's fine. Okay? Now, normally, I order my stuff there. When we get to other things, you'll see what I'm talking about. But like my arrowroot powder, I use beeswax for some things. There are two companies I use that I just love. Now, the first one is called Bulk Apothecary, and it's in Aurora, Ohio. Now, you guys all know I'm originally from Ohio. I lived about, 20 minutes to a half an hour straight up Route 306 from Bulk Apothecary. Now, back then, you could place your order online, and when it's ready, you can go to the warehouse and pick it up. I used to love to do that because it saved on shipping, but the staff is so nice, the customers are so nice. It was like a social event for me. I would go and socialize while I picked up my order. It was great. Now, if you live in the area in Northeast Ohio, I have no idea, but with what's going on with COVID and stuff, if they are still doing that, you would have to call and check or check their website. I'm going to have that link below too. Now, what I have noticed now that I live out west, it does take longer to ship, I think. Of course, when I lived in Ohio, they didn't ship. I just picked it up. Well, who I use out west, and I believe they're in Oregon, is Rose Mountain Herbs. Also very, very good. Very good customer service, quick delivery. I get a lot from them. So, because I want mine a little bit quicker, I'll probably order from Rose Mountain Herbs when I place my order tomorrow. But should I be back in Ohio visiting family, well, then I'd use Bulk Apothecary. Either one is great. Ooh, spirits getting close again. Either one is great. I love those two companies. They are amazing. They have everything you could possibly, everything from essential oils, ground herbs and spices. Just everything. They have both cool stuff. So go check them out. So I'm going to be getting my arrowroot powder from there, but for right now, I'm going to be using cornstarch. So, I'm getting long-winded here. I use a half teaspoon of cornstarch or arrowroot powder. So, it's my teaspoon. These aren't marked well, and at my age, when you're farsighted, you need glasses for this stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to put just a half a teaspoon in. Now, always remember, when you're making this stuff, you're personalizing it for yourself, your skin type, whatever you're looking for yours. So play around with it. You don't have to follow my instructions to the T. Play around with it until you get the shade you like or whatever, the consistency you like, whatever. And then, since I'm using brown, I am going to put in 3/4 cup of baking cocoa. Now, when you are making the brown, you can use other things besides cocoa. You can try to use nutmeg or cinnamon, something like that. However, I hesitate to do so because they are a little harsh, can be, irritating to the skin. Right, and your eyelids are a very sensitive area, and your eyes are. So I hesitate to use that. I use baking cocoa. Hi everybody, it's Gypsy from Gypsy Witch Creations. If you're a nomad like I am, or merely an avid camper, or even an occasional camper, I'd like to introduce to you my enamel camping mugs. They have beautiful, unique designs, unbreakable and durable. So come and check them out at gypsywitchcreations.com. Cocoa. I just have it in a plastic container, no big whoop, so yeah, I'm not going to do this, When you are nomad, you like to have everything sealed very well, because when you travel, things can spill, so that's why I do that. Anyway, so 3/4, uno, I said uno, okay, dos, and tres. Okay. Okay, so then, after the baking cocoa, I add, because I like mine a little darker, I'm a lighter Mediterranean woman. My skin's, well, I suppose a little darker than most white women, and I live in the desert, so I know on camera it doesn't look it, but I got a tan, so I make my stuff a little bit darker. So again, adjust it to what you want. So 2 capsules of activated charcoal I put in to darken it up a little bit. Okay, so I just break these open into my bowl, and I'm just using a metal bowl. I don't use glass bowls, because I'm a nomad. Right, never a good idea. Okay, that's one. And that's 2. Okay. And it is a bit messy, as you can see. So anyways, this is, what I have in my bowl right now. I have my cornstarch, cocoa, and activated charcoal. That's 2 capsules I have in there. Now, I have these little whisks that I just love for doing my makeup. So I just kind of whisk this around. Now, I'm thinking this is too dark of a brown. Last time with 2 capsules, I should have started out with 1, start out with the minimum, but I had written this down, which meant at one point I liked it. Maybe I had a different type of baking cocoa, so it came out the right shade, but this doesn't, it looks like a very dark brown or almost a grayish. So if you have that, it's too dark, you know what you do? Add a little bit more arrowroot powder or a little bit more cornstarch. So I'm going to try a 1/4 teaspoon more. This is just how you play around with it. To get the color that you want. That's a little bit lighter, but I think I'm going to try another 1/4. Excuse me, everybody. The bag's getting in the way. There we go. Okay. Okay, it's a little, now, another thing I want to tell you what I have found with this stuff is, alright, this looks dark, but it's not like the shadow you buy in the store, okay? So when you put this on, it's going to be lighter than what you see here. At least that's been my experience. So this still looks like a dark brown, and I know it's hard to tell, the camera doesn't really show it that well, but it does look like a dark brown, but when I put it on, it will be a bit lighter. Okay, so the next step is I add a 1/2 teaspoon, more or less, of shea butter. Now, again, naturally, this is Mountain Rose Herb Shea Butter. This one, it's certified organic, their stuff, which I really like. Is this the refined shea? Oh, this is refined. For skin products, a lot of times, I will buy the unrefined because it has like a little grit and you get a little exfoliation, which is great for us older women. So anyways, I'm going to add that. Okay, so I'm going to 1/2 teaspoon of that. Okay. Now I keep my shea butter in the refrigerator because I am in the desert. Right now, if I were in Ohio, I could probably leave it out in a cupboard or on the counter or something because it's gotten cold there. And, and in December, you could leave it on the counter, it might freeze. Okay, so Yeah, here it's always warm, so I always have to keep it there. Now, you put this in. This is more or less to have it adhere to your eyelids better. It doesn't make it a creamy eyeshadow at all. But it's just a little bit, and it's good moisturizer too. Shea Butter is wonderful for that. So then you put that in. You take the back of a spoon and you just kind of, press your eyeshadow into it until it's all mixed in. Okay? Now I'll show you. I put eyeshadow on this morning. I'll show you in a minute. But you just keep doing this until it's well blended, and you'll see it's not really a cream eyeshadow. Now, I think if you wanted a cream eyeshadow, which I've never liked those, it's a personal preference, do some research. I'm sure somebody has created one. Now, again, because you're using natural ingredients from your pantry, these are going to be very natural color shades. If you like shades that are more bold, like maybe a turquoise or green, something, that really stand out, I think I heard someplace, and I'm not sure because I don't prefer that. They do have a natural pigment. Can't remember. I wish maybe it was on Rose Mountain Herbs or Mountain Rose Herbs. I don't remember. But do research on that if you prefer those colors. I hear the pigments are all natural. Now they might be more expensive. I'm sure they are than doing this. But if it's your preference, go for it. Mine are, yes. So this is pretty much the consistency you'll have. Okay. Now what I do. Now you can buy containers, little pods and stuff on places like both Bulk Apothecary and Mountain Rose Herbs. They both have really nice spray bottles, compacts, little containers, and I have bought things from them. But this one, for eyeshadow, I just happened to have one of these Blistex lip balms that was empty, and I washed it out really well. And it's a little dirty now because my hands have stuff all over it. But I put my eyeshadow in things like this. So if you don't want to spend the money for containers, you just save little things like this and wash them out real well. Make sure, they're sterilized and stuff. And you put it in there. So that's how I make brown. For black, I like black in my crease. Now this is my eyeshadow crease right there. So I'll just use a capsule or two of the charcoal. I also like to use white to highlight the upper lids. Also, I use the white to give a little highlight on my rouge sometime. And that, you just don't add any color. And if you want more of that, just add more arrowroot powder. And, more arrowroot powder. There really isn't anything else to add except your shea butter. So I would add more arrowroot powder to make the average amount of an eyeshadow. And, put in half a teaspoon or whatever consistency you like. Play around with it to get... It took me a while. I don't like it this way. I was getting frustrated, but I finally did come up with what I like. Now, if you want, let's say a pinkish color for your lids, I suggest beetroot powder. Okay, I don't currently have any. I have at times bought it from Bulk Apothecary, and I'm sure Mountain Rose Herbs has them too. Now, when I lived in Ohio, I have a very good friend who has a farm. She grew beets, huge, like this. Huge. And she would give me some. I don't like to eat them. I don't care for beets, but I would take them, chop them up into cubes, dehydrate them, and then grind them into a powder, and I'd use them for my makeup. I used them more for rouge, blusher, and we'll talk about that too. I'll show you guys how I do that. But that's how you might want to get like a pinkish color. I would say if you want a green color and you like spirulina, which you can get from nuts.com. Spirulina is so healthy for you. Try some of that in there. I've never tried it, but give it a try. And if you do, let me know what it comes out like. See, what other colors? What is that? Anarot? Anatto root would give you possibly an orange yellowish color, things like that. Yeah, I'm trying, but you can just experiment with what you have in your pantry or anything else you might, that's natural. And if you do, not arrowroot, the beetroot, you don't have to buy that already ground up from a company, but if it, for convenience sake, you might want to go to the grocery store, get some beets, chop them up, dehydrate them, and grind them up into a powder, and voila, you've got it. The more rare stuff, I would suggest bulk Apothecary, or again, Mountain Rose Herbs. And I'm sure there's more companies, but those are the two I use. So anyways, that's how I make eyeshadow and eyeliner. It's very simple and very quick. So I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.